The alien princess was shocked to see a human warrior with the HFY story, one full part. The arena of the Valari Empire was silent, not because the crowd was calm, but because every soul present was holding its breath. Suspended inside a hollowed asteroid, the battlefield shimmered with ancient energy fields, and thousands of alien nobles watched from floating platforms. In the center stood Princess Lyra, heir to the Valari throne, known across the galaxy for her sharp mind and cold judgment. Today was supposed to be simple, another execution disguised as a trial, another weak species proving why they deserved to stay beneath the great empires. And yet the moment the human stepped into the light, everything felt different. He did not wear shining armor or carry advanced weapons. His combat suit was old, scratched and burned in places, clearly repaired countless times. In his right hand, he held a broken steel blade, its edge chipped and dull. Murmurs spread through the crowd. Humans were classified as low threat, fragile, and technologically behind. Sending one into the trial of ash was nothing more than a public humiliation before death. Princess Lyra watched carefully. The human did not look afraid. His breathing was slow, his stance balanced, his eyes steady. That alone unsettled her. The gates across the arena roared open, releasing the Korak warlord, a monstrous being of stone skin, towering height and brutal strength. It had slaughtered champions from a dozen worlds. The crowd erupted in excitement, eager for blood. The warlord charged, its footsteps cracking the arena floor. The human moved forward instead of back. In a single smooth motion, he stepped inside the creature's reach, twisting his body just enough to let the massive claw miss his chest. His broken blade flashed upward, striking a joint in the armor-like skin. There was a sharp crack and the warlord roared in pain. Shock rippled through the stands. The beast swung again, but the human rolled beneath the blow, came up behind it, and drove his shoulder into its spine. The impact staggered the giant forward. Before it could recover, the human leapt, planted one foot against its back, and plunged the broken blade into a glowing seam near its neck. The warlord froze, shuddered, and collapsed, lifeless, shaking the entire arena. Silence crashed down heavier than any roar. Princess Lyra rose slowly from her throne, her heart pounding. This was impossible. No human should possess such speed, strength, and precision. Medical drones rushed in, scanning the fallen beast and then the human. Their reports sent a wave of disbelief across the command platforms. His bone density was far beyond normal human levels. His muscle fibers were reinforced with synthetic strands. His nervous system showed signs of extreme neural conditioning. This was not a normal soldier. This was a weapon shaped like a man. Lyra descended onto the arena floor, her guards tense, weapons ready. She stopped a few meters from him. "What are you?" she demanded. The human met her gaze. There was no arrogance, only exhaustion and something deeper, something heavy. "I am what happens when my people are pushed too far," he said. "My name is Aaron Kell. I was a farmer's son. Then pirates raided my colony. They killed my family. They sold the survivors. The empire that bought us turned us into experiments. We were broken, rebuilt, trained, and thrown into wars we did not start. Most of us died. I lived." The crowd was silent. Even the nobles felt uneasy. Lyra felt a chill. She had studied galactic history, but human suffering had always been footnotes, distant statistics. Now it stood before her, breathing, bleeding, and unbroken. "Why come here?" she asked. "Why face certain death?" Aaron looked around the arena. "Because your empire plans to conquer the outer human systems. I came to show you what that war will cost." A murmur of alarm swept through the nobles. Lyra narrowed her eyes. "A threat?" "A warning," Aaron replied. "I am not the strongest of my kind, not the fastest, not the deadliest. I am what remains. If I can stand here, imagine what the rest can do." The princess studied him for a long moment. She saw scars beneath the armor, old burns, surgical marks, and the subtle tension of someone who had never known peace. For the first time in her life, she doubted the certainty of Valari supremacy. She raised her hand, and the execution order was canceled. Gasps echoed across the arena. "You will not die today, human," she declared. "You will speak before my council. You will tell them everything." Aaron nodded once. As he turned to leave the arena, the nobles whispered, fear and awe mixing in their voices. Princess Lyra remained standing, staring after him. In that moment, she understood a terrible truth. The galaxy had mistaken human silence for weakness. It had confused endurance with surrender. And now, it had finally seen the cost of that mistake. The council chamber of the Valari Empire was buzzing with tension. Princess Lyra sat at the head of the High Council, her mind still haunted by the human warrior who had survived the Trial of Ash. Arenkale had not only killed the Korak warlord, he had defied centuries of prejudice. Every noble present knew that one human now held more power, if not in army, then in influence, than most entire worlds. Lyra cleared her throat. Counselors, today we witnessed something that cannot be ignored. A human defeated a champion that none of us could touch. He is not just a soldier, he is something else. Whispers filled the room. It is impossible. Mere humans cannot, one elder stammered. Lyra raised her hand. He is a warning. If we continue to underestimate the outer human systems, we will pay a far greater price than we can imagine. Meanwhile, Arenkale was escorted through the towering corridors of the Valari Palace. The walls hummed with alien energy, ancient tapestries depicting victories over countless species. He had seen this history before, but always as a footnote, a note of suffering inflicted upon humans. Now, walking among the conquerors, he felt something unfamiliar: leverage. A Valari scientist approached, her eyes wide with curiosity rather than fear. Your abilities? They defy every known human parameter. How? Aaron's gaze met hers. Pain, survival, loss, we are forced to adapt because the universe never gave us choice. And because we endure, we become dangerous. The scientist shivered. Lyra entered the chamber silently. Her presence demanded attention. Arenkale, she said, voice steady, I want you to show the council the truth, not just of your strength, but of the human spirit, of what they will do if pushed. Hours passed. Aren recounted the horrors of his colony, the experiments the wars forced upon his people, and the resilience that had carried him through. He spoke not with anger, but with precision, each word cutting deeper than any blade. The counselors listened, some pale with disbelief, others with fear creeping into their hearts. Humans were no longer beneath the Valari. They were a force that demanded respect. Finally, Lyra stood. Prepare the fleet, she commanded. Not to attack the humans, but to negotiate. We must understand them before we face the consequences of ignoring them. Outside, in the observation dome, the stars stretched endlessly. Arenkale gazed out, feeling the weight of history and the hope of survival for his people. He had come to warn them, and the galaxy had finally listened. But deep down, he knew this was only the beginning. Somewhere in the far reaches of space, other humans, soldiers, survivors, warriors were preparing silently. And when they arrived, the galaxy would learn a lesson it had ignored for far too long. Never mistake endurance for weakness. Months passed since Arenkale had faced the Korak warlord. Rumors of the human warrior spread like wildfire through the Valari Empire, unsettling even the most confident nobles. Princess Lyra had kept her promise. She negotiated cautiously with human systems, but she could feel a storm brewing beyond the council walls. One night, Aren trained alone in the palace courtyard, his body moving with the precision of a weapon forged from pain. Shadows shifted as other humans, escaped survivors from distant colonies, arrived quietly, armed with nothing but ingenuity, determination, and the will to survive. Lyra watched from the observation deck, her heart torn between awe and fear. The humans were unlike anything she had imagined, coordinated, resilient, and fearless. You underestimated them, Aren said quietly to Lyra as she descended to meet him. And many more will come. They are not just soldiers, they are the remnants of a species that refuses to die quietly. Suddenly, alarms blared across the palace. Scouts reported a Valari fleet moving toward the outer human colonies, believing them to be easy prey. Aren's eyes hardened. Then it begins, he whispered. The galaxy will learn the cost of underestimating humanity. In the days that followed, humans launched daring strikes, sabotage, and coordinated resistance, striking fear into the hearts of Valari commanders. Princess Lyra realized that the human spirit was not just survival, it was rebellion. Strategy and the raw force of endurance multiplied across Countless individuals who had been pushed too far. And somewhere in the darkness of space, Iron Kale prepared for what he knew was inevitable, a war that would reshape the galaxy forever. The Valari Empire had witnessed the rise of a species it had dismissed for centuries, and now it could not turn back. The humans had shown the first strike. Soon, the rest of their kind would follow, and the galaxy would never be the same.